Hi everyone, very good evening. I am first of all really sorry for all the delay. There was some technical glitch happening for which reason we were not able to start the meeting, and that's why there was so much of delay. I am really sorry for that, but now we can start the meeting and I'll wait for some of the participants to join. Side by side, I'll just keep setting up my Facebook page so that I can see the comments. So please be with me. I will just take 2 minutes. I am not able to see any of the comments as of now. Okay, let me try from my phone. Just a second, please, everyone. Yes, I think it's working here. I'll just keep it. Yes, I think it's working here. Just keep it. Yes, here. Just a minute, please. Hi everyone, once again, I'm really sorry. There is some glitch happening. I don't know why. Probably the URL is not working or there is some connectivity issue. I'm not able to understand what's happening. I really apologize once again. Please bear with me. I'll just take 1 more minute to set it up so that I can read your comments and throughout the session, I can interact with you better. So please just give me 2 more minutes. I think it will take 2 more minutes. Okay, now I can see the comments. I can read them. Good evening, all of you, good evening. Once again, I'm sorry for all the delay and thank you so much for your patience. Good evening, Marilyn. Good evening, all of you. So let's begin with the session. In this session, we are going to discuss some tips for listening. I'll quickly take you to the page. So my name is Yukti and I am a trainer with Khaira Education. We are Asia's first premium preparation providers and we offer a range of affordable courses, both online, offline modes. If you wish to contact us, if you wish to join us, you can join us, you can contact us through Instagram, Facebook, there is WhatsApp number and phone number also given. You can contact us and we can help you with your OET preparation. Now, coming to the session that we're having today. In this session, I'll help you with tips to improve your listening scores in Part C, Listening Part C, which most of the students feel that is a little difficult. And it's true, it's a little difficult at times. The reason being, it's a little heavy in vocabulary. The audios are a little longer and you need a lot of concentration to find the right options. But in the beginning, it may seem to be a little difficult. Once you practice or you ace the skills, then it becomes very, very easy and you're able to find the correct answer. So my aim today would be to help you with some tips and tricks which can help you score better in listening Part C. So to all the joinees, welcome to the session. And I can see very nice comments here. Yes, hello all of you. Good evening, all of you from India. Once again, my name is Yukti. I am from Khaira Education. To all the participants who are joining me, please do write in the comment for me that where are you joining us from, what's your profession, and when are you planning to take the test. Even you can use the comment section to send me your questions, any of the doubts that you have throughout the session, and I'll try my best to sort that out for you and make things easy for you. So coming to now, what I am going to do in this session today. What will I cover? So I gave you an idea that my main focus is going to be on listening Part C, extract. And throughout this session today, as I was telling you that with practice, when you work on the skills required, it becomes easy for you to find the right answer out of the 3 options given. So how will we do that? We'll do that with some activities. I have made some activities for you. Then we will practice some questions and overall, all of it will help you upgrade your skill to follow a very long talk, which is there. And do you know that in listening Part C, mostly what do you need to find? Any idea? Because there are different kinds of questions and each question may ask you to find something like in Part A, Part B, and Part C. So do we know that what type of questions? Multiple choice, yes, but what type? Like Do you have to find anything specific, or is it about speaker's opinion most of the times? What do you think? You can write that in the comment section for me. And yes, hi everyone who's joining me now. And thank you so much for providing all the information that I'm asking for. I can see you're joining me. Okay, nurses, I have doctors as well. Welcome all of you. Welcome to the session. I'll try and make a little bit, I'll try and make this session a little interactive so that you can participate with me. And it's here, as I was asking you, so you have to recognize speaker's opinion. Speaker's thoughts and opinions are very important. And in listening part C, most of the questions will ask you to find these things. So today we are going to listen to an interview. It'll be an extract from part C. It'll have an interview. And as I said, there'll be some activities in between. After the activities, in the activity, we will practice the skill. And after the activity, we are going to have a question, which is from part C listening. And then when you answer that question for me, we will have a detailed discussion on the right answer option that you have chosen for me. So please do keep writing in the comments. Yes, you're right, Annabelle. Opinions and speaker's perspective, speaker's opinion. What are they trying to say? What are they trying to tell you? That's all we find here. So let's move on. Now, I'll start from the very basic. Now, some of you may have taken the test one. Some of you are waiting. Some of you have booked probably. Some of you are preparing for it. Some of you are planning to prepare for it. For all of you, I will start from the basic listening format. What is there and how many questions are there? What do I expect from the questions, or what types are there? So first of all, the duration of the test is 40 minutes. And can you tell me that, is it your first subtest that you have to attempt on the final exam day, or is it second or third or last out of the 4? Is listening going to be the first test? What do you think? Is it going to be your first test on the exam day? You can type your answers in the comment section and I can see them. All right, no worries, even if you have written thrice or you are going to write it for the first time, or you're still planning, you're making up your mind, this session is for all of you. So don't worry about it. Yes, you're right. Yes, it is going to be your first test on the exam day. Listening is going to be your first test. And its duration is going to be for 40 minutes. In the test, it'll be divided in 3 parts, part A, B, and C. When it comes to part A, there are going to be gap fill questions. There will be some information given, and from that information, something will be missing. It will be a short word or a phrase. You will listen to the audio and you will find the answer that is suitable to fill your blank, the specific information that is suitable to fill the blank and make it complete. And in part A, there are going to be 2 consultation extracts. So the healthcare specialist will be talking to your patient. So always there will be 2 speakers in each audio. So extract 1 will have 2 speakers, a healthcare professional and a patient. Then similarly, extract 2 will have 2 speakers, a healthcare professional and the patient. And each extract is going to have 12 questions. Yeah, I can see in the comment section that many of you are going to take the test for the first time. Some of you are repeating it. So Do not worry at all. Do not worry. This session will help you all. So as I was saying, part A, 2 extracts, 2 speakers in each extract, a healthcare professional and a patient, and 12 questions in each extract, which is a total of 24 questions. So 24 questions only from part A. Then in part B, you're going to get multiple choice questions, which are going to be 6 in number. Total 6 questions are going to be there, short extracts. There could be 1 speaker, or sometimes there could be 2 speakers in each extract. And each question in part B is going to be an individual question. So it won't be connected. 25, question number 25 will be different, 26 will be different, and so on. So 24 to 30 are going to be short individual questions. And then in part C, there are going to be, again, multiple choice questions, but this time there'll be 2 long extracts. So this is how it's different from part B. In part B, there are 6 short extracts, but in part C, there are going to be 2 long extracts, and there will be 1 to 2 speakers in each extract. Each extract, there'll be 6 questions. So 6 questions in extract 1 and then 6 questions in extract 2, a total of 12 questions. Now, coming to the type of questions that you'll have. So part A will ask you for specific details. As I told you, you'll be listening to a healthcare professional, talking to a patient. So there will be specific details you need to find to fill those gaps which are given. Part B can ask you to find gist, purpose, opinion, detail, function, action, any of that. And those audios will be related to everyday scenarios that you come across in your hospital setting, like 2 nurses talking to each other, a trainee talking to a trainer, or a nurse talking to a patient, something like that. Everyday hospital scenarios, short extracts. So therefore, the answer options, the question may ask you to look for the gist, purpose, opinion, function, or action. There could be handover going on, safety briefing, meeting, anything like that. In part C, which is going to be our focus today, the audios are long and 6 questions, which will come one after the other. They'll not, it's not like you miss question 32, so you're going to miss 33 as well. It's not like that. The answers will be coming separately, but still the audio is going to be a long one and connected. And from that audio, a long audio, you're going to answer the questions, but these ones can ask you for gist, attitude, opinion, reaction of your speaker, or it may also ask any specific kind of work done by that. And what do I mean? So for example, your speaker, the person who's being interviewed has went to a specific place and they have worked, for example, as a midwife, and they're sharing their experience with the interviewer. So the questions may cover their scope of work, their experience, things like that. But in none of the questions will they ask you to look for any figure or any meaning or any statistic. Like in reading, you may get questions where you need to find a word meaning, but in listening, it's not like that. However, in the audio, there could be different words used, different phrases used. There could be vocabulary which can be a little heavy medically or academically. It would be some complex phrases and words. There would be some complex phrases and words used. But never will they ask you to find an exact meaning or look for a number, like how many patients did your interviewer treated, or for how many years that person worked in so and so place. It will never ask for a number. They will ask you to find these things: attitude, opinion, the point of view that they're having, or some fact they're highlighting, or any work they're discussing, their scope of work. Yes, I can understand you find Part C difficult and you all want to improve it. And that is my aim today, that I can help you with my activities, and all of us together can work on it. But it was important for me to discuss the test format, since many of you wrote in the comment section that you're going to attempt it for the first time. So we need to know that. Now, if there is any question about the basics of the test, you can ask me here, or I'll move on to the next activity. So in the next section, as I told you, in Part C, the audios are going to be long. So there could be a presentation, there could be an interview as well. However, those interviews or presentations which you will listen to in Part C will be on some accessible healthcare topics, some healthcare professionals speaking. So what should we do? To ace the skill, like many of you are saying, Part C is difficult. Part C is something that you want to work on. So we need to understand two basic things here. What should you do to work on the skills? First of all, you need to practice some authentic OET material, which you can find on OET's website, official one. You can go do some sample tests, which are available online. A few months ago, we had a webinar wherein we spoke about some websites or some YouTube channels. We are having non-authentic, they're uploading non-authentic material. So don't go for that. Don't practice from those YouTube channels. Look for samples. If required, you can join any of the premium preparation providers. But it's very important for you to practice tests at least one every day, because it gives you familiarity about how the questions are, what you're looking for, signposting, and everything that we're going to discuss today in the session. It'll help you balance what? The skill of reading and listening together. It's called a listening test, but of course it's a test for your reading skills as well, because you're reading the questions, you're reading the answer options, and at no point of time will you find the same language. So what's written on the paper in front of you and what you're listening to in the audio, those could be different things. It's not like a transcript written and the same thing being said in the audio, or the same options written on the paper and the same things being said in the audio. The language is rephrased, it's changed. So we need to balance it a little. Two things we do here in Part C mainly. We are reading the question, the answer options, and side by side, we are listening to the audio to find the correct option. And at no point can I do one thing only. When I find my keywords and the audio takes me closer to that, now I have to do both things together. Yeah, some point of time I can stop reading and focus on listening more, but to find the correct answer, I need to read and listen together. So we're going to work on this as well. Apart from this, practicing and reading and listening together, you also should invest some of your extra time in listening to the podcasts or TED Talk. It can include any topic of your choice, but it should be related to your profession. So it can have any content related to healthcare, and you can listen to some podcasts. You can listen to ABC radio, BBC, TED Talks, any of that, which is of good quality and is related to healthcare setting. How will it help? It will help you to practice listening to complex words, which some of us are not habitual. So the audio, when you listen to podcast, it will help you in many ways. First of all, you will understand what kind of phrases and words are they using, and you'll become more familiar. The vocabulary, it'll enhance. Then you will also learn to focus more, because at times many of you may have a habit of reading, but only some of us have a habit of listening. Mostly when we have free time, we listen to music and all that stuff, but we never listen to long interviews or presentations. So when you start listening to those, it'll help you concentrate better. And for 4 to 5 minutes, the length of your audio, you cannot lose concentration at any point, because if you lose, then in a click of a second, you can just miss your answer. So listening to these podcasts and TED Talks, it'll help you enhance, increase familiarity with the technical language, enhance your vocabulary. Side by side, you can even maintain a notebook and you can write some difficult words, phrases. So before the test, you can revise all of them. It may be used and it'll help you concentrate better. So both these things together will work for you. As many of you are asking what to do, how to practice, so this is what you need to do. Not only tests, but listening to podcasts also in the free time. So whenever you're free, before going to bed, make this habit of listening to one podcast a day. Or probably if you're traveling through a public transport, metro, bus, you can just, put your headphones in and listen to something. It'll help, it'll make you familiar with the language more and more. And this is how you can upgrade your skills of understanding the language, the rephrased one. As we said, the questions that are written will be different from the audio. I mean, the language is going to be different. The ideas will be same. Also, I want you to remember the dictionary meanings are not going to be similar. So don't look for words, look for the ideas. And to understand the ideas better, this is what you need to do. Keep listening to various types of healthcare related interviews and presentations to upgrade your listening skills and concentration. Now, I am getting a question here, and CG asks that how can we understand question has shifted to the next question. Is there any clue? Yes, there is. Yes, there is a clue. Always, whenever I have this discussion with my students in the class, I tell them. So for example, there is an interview happening. So in the interview, the clues are quite easy to catch. How? Because once the interviewer asks the next question, your interviewee responds and they take you forward, right? You're following the talk like that. Question, answer, question, answer. And that's how it's written on your sheet as well. Question, answer, the same way it's going in the audio too. So cues are easy to catch. Once the interviewee has stopped responding, the interviewer asks the next question. It takes you further in the audio as well as on the test paper as well. In presentation, those cues are a little hard to find, but not very. It'll again come with practice. Now, think about a situation when you were in school and your teacher asked you to go on the stage and give a presentation on a topic to all the students. So when you started your presentation, you didn't start randomly. So whatever the topic is, say exam preparation is the topic of your presentation. So you didn't start randomly and, connected the ideas. You'll not throw them randomly to your speaker. It'll be a well-connected presentation. It'll have an introduction, it'll have well-connected ideas, and then it'll have a proper ending or conclusion. So similar is the presentation that you get in your part C. The clues that we are talking are pauses and signposting words and phrases. That is how you get to know that they have moved on. And if they have moved on, you have to move on too with them, with the audio. You cannot just get stuck there and keep thinking about the previous question when you know that they have moved on to the next one. So the pause is going to be a little lengthier one. And the intonation. What is intonation? Intonation is the change in the tone when you talk. So when I'm talking to you, when one statement ends, my tone goes a little down. Then I just pick it up again and I give you the next topic in a little higher tone. The same kind of intonation is going to be used in the presentation. Your speaker, it's going to be a monologue. One person will talk to you throughout, but they'll be pausing in between and then moving on to the next topic with the help of signposting words and phrases. So whenever we'll have next session, I'll make sure that I'll work on this skill as well. But my today's focus is also following the talk, but not in presentation extract. It's going to be in interview extracts today. So I hope it helped you, Siji. You were able to understand how the clues, how the cues are going to help. If yes, you can type in the comment section. And if there is any other question, you can please type it for me. I'll move on to the next slide. Here I have a sample test for you. Those students who are going to attempt it for the first time and have never seen a sample test or have never attempted one, you can have a look here. It's an authentic sample test, and you can see all the instructions are very clearly mentioned in the beginning. For part A, you'll have blanks wherein you have to write your answers. Then for part B, these are going to be your multiple choice options from which you'll have to choose one and circle the selected option properly. Now, while doing it, another question which mostly my new students ask is, are you going to get an OMR sheet to transfer your answers, or are you going to write the answers on the same sheet and submit it? What do you think? Are you going to transfer your answers to another sheet, or will you be writing them on the same paper and submitting the question paper with the answers at the end of the subtest? Please do write in the comment section. Same sheet needs to be submitted, or the answers need to be transferred anywhere. And this is a very common question that I ask from my new students who are planning or thinking to go for the test for the first time. They have this common thing. Yes, you're right. Same paper. On the same paper, you'll be writing your answers and you'll be submitting it. So as you can see, there is sufficient space provided for part A, and yes, you're right, everyone. Same paper, you'll have sufficient space to write answers here. And for part B and C also, you'll be marking on the same sheet. But are you allowed to underline the keywords or make some symbols? Like when I said, if you remember, I told you in the beginning, you need to read, listen together, read, listen in part C. So while listening, I always ask my students to make little symbols on the right side, like tick, cross, or question mark. Like if you hear something in the audio, which is similar, which is matching with the answer option, they mark a little tick here. Or if that's contrary opinion, it's contradicting to what's written, they mark a little cross there. Or sometimes if the answer option is not used in the audio, or they're not sure if they heard it, they put a little question mark. This helps them. When the audio ends and they move on to the next question, it helps them pick the right answer option, because you need to wait for the speaker to end their whole, the statement that they're giving for that particular point or thing. You have to wait for them to end it and move on to the next topic. So while listening, you mark little ticks, crosses, question marks here, and you do not have to erase that later at all. You can just keep it as it is and submit it as it is. At the end, the 2 minutes time which they give you is to check the answers that you have picked, not to erase the keywords and the symbols that you've made. So you can just, don't need to worry about that at all. If you have marked, but of course, you need to make sure that you're marking it neatly. It should not look like a mess. So keeping this whole area clean, you can just neatly mark it. And there is a video which was uploaded by Rebecca a few years ago, on which she has very nicely explained how to mark answers. I do share a link with my students. You can also find it on the OET's page itself. There is a video which is nicely explaining how to mark answers. And this is for the students who are going to appear for the test for the first time, because it's a real experience from one of our ex-students who went for the test, and by mistake, she ticked all the options rather than circling. And then OET would not consider those options. You have to properly circle the right answer. You cannot just, put ticks on the right answer. So this is why throughout the practice, whether you're practicing for a week or a month or 2 months, you need to maintain the habit of circling your chosen option rather than putting a tick. Otherwise, automatically you tend to put ticks on the final day, and then it just, it's of no use. So these are very, very minor things, but very useful, especially for the students who are going to take it for the first time. Now, we can start. In part C, you will get 90 seconds to read 6 questions. 90 seconds time to read 6 questions with their answer options. And we need to utilize these 90 seconds very efficiently, because this is the time that I'm looking through my answer options, and next time I am again reading them with the audio now. So they're going to pause for 90 seconds for you to read the question with the answer options. Now, how should I first of all utilize these 90 seconds time efficiently? I should read my question stem and mark the keywords there. Yes, every candidate should fill the given circle. You're right, absolutely. So in 90 seconds time, you need to read the question stem, and then you need to mark the keywords. Keywords, the important words. And in the activities, I will help you with how to mark the keywords as well. So now when you have picked the right keyword, it will give you, first of all, you'll be confidently able to pick the right option. You'll be able to exclude the distractors, and you'll also be able to track the beginning and the ending of each question, like you asked me in the beginning, like, how do I know whether they have moved on, or should I stay here at the same question, or should I move on with them? So you'll get to know that when you mark the keywords correctly and when you're following them correctly. So if you'll mark them correctly and follow them, it'll enhance your confidence in picking up the right option, and it'll also help you exclude those distractors, which will seem plausible, like it'll seem to be the correct answer, but it won't be, because the idea will not match your question, or it won't match the audio. So in those 90 seconds, the first thing that you're going to do is focus on the question, pick the right amount of keywords, and then quickly glance through the answer options before your audio begins. Some students like to mark keywords in the answer options as well. If you find it easy, you can even do that. But most of our students, they don't like to mark keywords in the answer options. Reason being, not all answer options are correct. Only one of them is correct. So if I'll focus a lot on the words given in the answer options, it might not help me. So for this reason, picking keywords from the question are going to help me in many ways, not just looking for the right answer option, also to track the beginning and ending of each question, and then glancing through options, I can quickly do that. If I'll focus more on the answer options, like too much, then it might confuse me, or it might just, waste my time. I am having very limited time, which is 90 seconds. And you know that the amount of information provided in the options is quite lengthy. The answer options are quite lengthy. If you compare them to part B, those are not short ones. Those are lengthy answer options. So quickly look through the answer options and pick keywords from your question. This is what you need to do in the first 90 seconds. Concentrate, pick keywords. Now, when the audio plays, you need to focus on the main idea. Do not keep looking for the words now. Focus on the main idea. And if you miss something, don't panic. It's okay. If you miss it and you have realized that they have moved on, cool. You also move on. Later on, when you get 2 minutes of time to recheck your answer, come back to the same question, and this time you can make an educated guess thinking about the audio. Because if you miss something and you keep thinking about the same question while you know that they have moved on, now you're already multitasking. You're thinking something, you're reading something else, and you're listening to something else. So it'll just mess it up. We don't want that. So do not panic at all. If they have moved on and you've missed something, you should also move on with them and stop thinking about the same question. You can come back to it later, and with a calm mind, you can think about it and make an educated guess. So whatever I have said here, don't worry, I'll be doing each and everything through the activities, through some activities here. Let's go. So this is our first activity for the day. Can you see two pictures on your screen, picture A and picture B? I want you to type in the comment section, and what do you think is happening in picture A and what do you think is happening in picture B? Little statement would do, or even short one-word answers would also work. You do not need to type any details. You can just quickly tell me what is happening in picture A and what is happening in picture B here. I'll wait for your answers. Yeah, you can see the pictures clearly. So you can just type in the comment section that what do you think is happening in picture number A, picture A, and what is happening in picture B. I will wait for the comments here. You can write anything that comes to your mind. There is no right or wrong answer here. Everything is correct. We can have a discussion about it. So it'll just make you familiar on what you're expecting to listen to. So you can just type it here. Very nice. Thank you so much for the responses. Yes, you're right. It looks like a job interview in picture A. And okay, it looks like voice recording or something else. Yes, another type of interview. Not just a discussion. It could be a different type of an interview. Like in picture A, of course, it could be a job interview, private interview, on air or recorded. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, thank you. So yes, many of you have added your comments. Thank you so much for that. And yes, you're right. Picture A seems to be like a job interview. It's one-on-one again, two people talking, but it looks like a job interview. However, in picture B, again, it's one-on-one, two people talking, interviewee and interviewer, but it could be on air. It could be shared with the public. In picture A, the type of interview that is happening, it might not be shared with the public. It could be some private kind of an interview for that particular organization or work or job profile. But what they're doing in picture B, yes, they're recording it. they are doing an interview and they are recording it. It could be live or it could be recorded, and then later on it would be shared with the general public. So which one out of these two are you going to listen to in your listening test? A or B? Which one are you expecting to listen to? You can again type your answers in the comment section. Meanwhile, I'll just switch on my AC because it's getting a little hot here. So again, yeah. Consultation. Okay, you're close, but it's not a consultation. In a consultation, the patient sits a little closer to the doctor. It's one-on-one happening, so it's more like an interview. Yeah, both are interview. The first one is private. The second one is going to be on air or shared with the public. Yes, you all are absolutely correct. It is going to be picture B, not picture A. It's going to be picture B in listening part C. Picture A could be used in part B, like one-on-one private discussion in the hospital setting between probably a trainee and a trainer, or they could be asking or giving feedback, whatever. It could be in B, but not in C. The interviews that they choose for part C are mostly shared with the general public, and similar podcasts can be listened. This is why I'm saying you can find many podcasts on ABC radio, BBC, or TED Talk, because that is shared with the general public. It's for their knowledge. It could include a lot of things from the interviewee side, which the general public may find useful, be it their colleagues. So if it's a nurse talking, a midwife talking, their colleagues or the general public, they would find it useful. So this is why it's shared on air. So yes, when again and again we say interview or presentation, it's not a private interview that we are expecting. It's a public kind of an interview, which will be shared with all after it's recorded or probably held live. Now, thank you so much for all the answers. Moving further and closer to the activities now, the type of interview that I have chosen for you today will include an epidemiologist. Like I gave you an example, it could be a midwife who has worked in a part of any part of the world, and then she has come back and she's sharing her experience. So that is, recorded or shared and then shared with people to gain knowledge from it. So the interview, the questions that we are going to attempt today is going to be from an interview extract, wherein an epidemiologist is going to talk to your interviewer. What I want to know from you is, what does an epidemiologist do? So what do you know about an epidemiologist's job role? What do they do? You can again type your answers in the comment section so that we can make this session more interactive. And I will also know that you're enjoying it with me and you're getting something, you're gaining some knowledge out of it. So please do, let's share our knowledge and tell me, what do you understand by the term epidemiologist? Why am I asking this? I'll meanwhile tell you. The context statement that they give you on top, like I showed you the sample, there is always a context statement written on the top wherein they tell you that what are you expecting to listen to. It's not that the audio will randomly start and you have to think that, oh my God, what is happening? Who's talking? It's not like that. So they'll clearly give you the context. So you can now narrow down your thoughts. They'll tell you that a midwife is talking to an interviewer, or you're going to listen to a presentation by a neurologist, or you're going to listen to an epidemiologist, or you're going to listen to an interview by, the name will also be there. It will always be male and female. If your interviewee is male, the interviewer will be female, and vice versa. So what do we understand by epidemiologist is going to be, it's the word is going to be used in the context, and it's necessary for me to know. Epidemiologist works in community areas. Yes. Survey disease and also the prevention. Yes, you're right. Absolutely correct. Epidemiologist tells about diseases, causes in a particular area. Wonderful. Yes, you are right. Researches about diseases in particular areas and make data. So here I have written it for you too. Yes, you're right. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with all of us. So for those who wrote it in the comments, thank you. For those who did not know, you can read it here on the screen or what your friends have written in the comment section. An epidemiologist is a professional who studies infectious diseases, and then they try and understand how those diseases spread. It could be in a particular area, and then they develop methods to contain or prevent those outbreaks. Absolutely. So this is what we're going to listen to today. It's going to be an interview between an epidemiologist and there'll be an interviewer. One of them will be a female, the other one will be a male. Now, what next do we have? So here I have a little audio clip. Like I told you, the interview or presentation doesn't randomly start. It'll have a proper beginning. So here I have a little audio clip from the extract. I will play it for you, and I want you to tell me, can you predict what topics could be covered in this interview between an epidemiologist and an interviewer? What could they talk about? So I'm playing it for you, and you can just write in the comment section after listening. Can you predict, with the help of the introduction to this, can you predict what topics are they going to cover in this interview? What are they going to talk about in this interview? And again, there is no right or wrong option. It's just a little warm-up activity to get into the flow, and that's it. There is no right or wrong answer. You can write anything that you feel. You can write anything that comes to your mind. So here we go. Please listen to the audio.
We're talking today with Dr. Rachel Tisnado, a highly respected epidemiologist and expert on yellow fever. Dr. Tisnado.
I hope you could hear the audio. Yes. I'm playing it one more time, and you can keep writing your answers in the comment section. What do you predict this interview to be about?
We're talking today with Dr. Rachel Tisnado, a highly respected epidemiologist and expert on yellow fever. Dr. Tisnado.
Yeah, you can keep on writing. I'll just have a sip of water. Find out particular causes, outbreak, diseases, causes, prevention. Yes, you're right. So see, they told you that they're going to talk about which disease? Yellow fever. So whatever they have written in the context, they will say that in the beginning. Of course, in different words, but they're going to introduce your interviewee to you.
We're talking today with Dr. Rachel Tisnado, a highly respected epidemiologist and expert on yellow fever.
Yeah.
Dr. Tisnado.
Your predictions are absolutely correct. They're going to talk about yellow fever. Of course, it can include causes, it can include prevention, it can include methods that people need to follow to prevent the disease, or it can also include treatment options, various things. But all of that is going to be around yellow fever only, because that is what they're going to discuss in detail. So this is how the context statements help you. They help you narrow down your, because you know the thoughts, there could be various things coming to your mind, but with the help of the context in the introduction, they bring you closer to what you're expecting to hear. So now you can look for the ideas. If you concentrate, you'll be able to find the correct ideas. Let's move on to the next activity that we have here. So suppose this is your first question from the interview. This is your first question. What first led Dr. Desnado to help develop an interest in yellow fever? This is your first question. Like we were talking about keywords, how keywords help you. They help you follow the talk. They help you concentrate on the ideas confidently. So please do tell me, what keywords will you pick from this question? So you have a pencil in your hand and this is your first question. So which particular words you're going to pick? What will be your keywords here? Again, you can quickly type your answers in the comment section and I will wait for a few seconds for all of you to tell me which keywords are you going to pick from this question. If this is your first question of the extract, what are your keywords here? Yes, expert on yellow fever, about yellow fever. Yes, you're right, all of you. They are going to talk about yellow fever, prevention, methods. Develop, first, and interest. Okay, Ipsha, thank you so much. First, develop, interest. First led. Yes, Bruna, it's also correct. First led. So if you have pencil, you'll be marking this. Yes, most of you are correct. Yes, wonderful. First led, develop, and interest. Now you see, when we are talking about the keywords or when we are talking about marking the keywords, we are not picking the grammatical words, or we are not picking the words or the names which are going to be repeated. Throughout the conversation, Dr. Desnado is going to talk to your interviewer. The interviewer was male, so Dr. Desnado is going to be a female. I know that from the introduction itself. Now, when I'm picking my keywords, I'm looking for the content words, which are going to help me follow the discussion, which are going to tell me that have they moved on to the next point or not, or are they still there? So, and it will also help me match the ideas that they have given in the question. So yes, content, first, led, develop, and interest. These are going to be your keywords. Wonderful. So once you've marked your keywords, half of your task is done. You can now be confident about looking for the answer options. Now, one thing done. From the question, I have picked my keywords. Now it's time for the next activity. And what are we going to do? I am going to give you some time to read this paragraph, small paragraph that I have written here, and side by side I will play the audio for you. First I'll give you time to read the paragraph, then I will play the audio for you. What will you do for me? You will do for me the thing that you do for part A. You will find specific words which you will fill in the gaps here. Now, I want you to note that at no point are you going to fill gaps in part C. There are no questions like that. But why are we doing that? We are doing it just to help you follow the conversation. As I told you, the language is rephrased. What they are saying in the audio is different from what they have written on the paper. There would be some changes, not exact details. It's not that whatever is written word to word is being said in the audio. There is change. I need to follow this change to look for the main idea that I am looking for. So if this is my question, what first led her develop interest? This is the main idea I'm looking for. What led her interest? What led to the development of her interest, that she, out of all the diseases, she chose yellow fever for her research. So here you will get 2 minutes to read this paragraph, and then I will play the audio. There are only 3 blanks. I want you to fill them for me. I would remind you, the language which I have written in the paragraph is not going to be similar word to word with the audio. In the audio, whatever she's saying is similar in ideas here, but some words or phrases are going to be rephrased. All right. So reading this and listening to that, you're going to find the specific details for me to fill these 3 blanks. So your 2 minutes time to quickly read it. I will wait for you and then I will play it. All right, I have set the timer here. I'll wait for all of you to read it and with a very calm and relaxed mind, then listen to the audio to find the blanks. Now find the information that you can pick to fill the blanks here. And I will repeat, the language is going to be a little different. What you're reading and what you're going to listen to, there could be some change in the words, the phrases, but the ideas are similar. All right. Please go on, read it. I am waiting. And meanwhile, you can also pick a pencil in your hand. So by the time the audio starts, you can just write those answers on a piece of paper and later on you can type them in the comment section for me. So please pick a pencil in your hand if it's available around. If not, it's fine. You can straight away type your answers in the comment section. That will also work. 1 minute is over. We'll wait for a few more seconds and then I'll play the audio. All right, so here we go.
We're talking today with Dr. Rachel Tisnado, a highly respected epidemiologist and expert on yellow fever. Dr. Tisnado, firstly, what is yellow fever and what triggered your deep interest in this disease?
Simply put, yellow fever is a viral disease transmitted most commonly to humans and also monkeys by infected mosquitoes in parts of Central and South America, and also Africa. It takes about 3 to 6 days for the illness to begin after the initial mosquito bite. But what's so interesting to me is that up to a week after symptoms appear, an infected person can actually retransmit the infection to the mosquitoes who bite them, forming a seemingly endless cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point that grabbed me and pulled me in, so to speak. And then what kept me involved was the fact that my son, who was 22 at the time, then contracted this disease just after my research had begun. The distressing part for me, not only as a doctor but a mother, was that this could have been avoided if only he'd taken the recommended precautions. A simple vaccine.
That was the audio. I will wait for your answers. You can see some answers in the comments. I'll wait. Yes, you're right. Very right. The first answer is absolutely correct. What about the second and third one? Could you find that? Yeah, I know it could be a little too much to read and listen together, but that's what we are working on. Yes, most of you are correct. The first answer is absolutely correct. Wonderful. Yes, the second answer is correct too. Very nice. Yes. Yes, the first answer is correct. The second one is correct too. Please keep writing. Okay. No, that's close. Precaution is close, but that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Think again. Okay, you can meanwhile listen again while typing. I'll quickly play it one more time.
We're talking today.
Do not forget to match the ideas. Do not look for the exact words, match the ideas. Read and try and listen together. Because you've already read the paragraph once, try finding all three for me. You wonderfully found two, find the third one too. Let's go.
We're talking today with Dr. Rachel Tisnado, a highly respected epidemiologist and expert on yellow fever. Dr. Tisnado, firstly, what is yellow fever, and what triggered your deep interest in this disease?
Simply put, yellow fever is a viral disease transmitted most commonly to humans and also monkeys by infected mosquitoes in parts of Central and South America, and also Africa. It takes about 3 to 6 days for the illness to begin after the initial mosquito bite. But what's so interesting to me is that up to a week after symptoms appear, an infected person can actually retransmit the infection to the mosquitoes who bite them, forming a seemingly endless cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point that grabbed me and pulled me in, so to speak. And then what kept me involved was the fact that my son, who was 22 at the time, then contracted this disease just after my research had begun. The distressing part for me, not only as a doctor but a mother, was that this could have been avoided if only he'd taken the recommended precautions. A simple vaccine.
Yes, very nice, all of you. Yes, the first answer is humans, usually to humans or monkeys. The second one is endless, which makes the transmission cycle endless. Yes, and the third one is which was responsible. So her son fell sick. He contracted the virus. Why? Because he did not take the vaccine, not precautions. She said a simple precaution, that is a vaccine. So he did not take the vaccine, and that is why he contracted the virus. And he could easily have avoided it. Yes, very nice. So you see, this is the skill that you need to ace. Reading and listening together and still finding the specific details, which will be close to the ideas which are given in your options, but the words as it is will not be similar, just like this paragraph here. Things were same. The sequence was followed in the same manner. It wasn't like first she was talking about her son and then she was talking about the infection. No, the sequence was properly being followed. The only difference was that the language was a little different. The words and the phrases, the ideas were similar. So this is what you're expecting to listen to. The ideas will be similar in the audio. The sequence will be similar, but the language, the words and the phrases, there can be a little change. Now, let's go to the activity. Now, you very nicely have given me all three answer options here, which are correct. Most of you have done that, so amazing. Now, look at the question. This is the exact question. You have picked the keywords for me. You said the keywords are first, led, develop, and interest. Now, these are the answer options for you. 90 seconds for 6 questions. If you break it down, it's 15 seconds for each question. So I am going to wait only for 15 seconds. And in these 15 seconds, I want you to read this question with the options once. I will then play the audio and then you can find the right answer for me. All right, 15 seconds. Okay, many of you are already writing the answers. C, B, yes, thank you for that, but I will play the audio for you. I want you to read the options. It will be unfair if I don't give you the options and give you only the audio. And this is not how we need to practice. So please read the options and then we will match it with the audio. Once again, I'll play it for you. Thank you for those who are writing the answer options for me, but I'm not looking for the answer options as of now. I want you to listen to the audio and then find the answer for me. So here you go. Please listen and then find and then type the answer, the correct option that you've picked in the comment section. Here we go.
We're talking today with Dr. Rachel Tisnado, a highly respected epidemiologist and expert on yellow fever. Dr. Tisnado, firstly, what is yellow fever and what triggered your deep interest in this disease?
Simply put, yellow fever is a viral disease transmitted most commonly to humans and also monkeys by infected mosquitoes in parts of Central and South America and also Africa. It takes about 3 to 6 days for the illness to begin after the initial mosquito bite. But what's so interesting to me is that up to a week after symptoms appear, an infected person can actually retransmit the infection to the mosquitoes who bite them, forming a seemingly endless cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point that grabbed me and pulled me in, so to speak. And then what kept me involved was the fact that my son, who was 22 at the time, then contracted this disease just after my research had begun. The distressing part for me, not only as a doctor but a mother, was that this could have been avoided if only he'd taken the recommended precautions. A simple vaccine.
Yes, most of you are absolutely right. The correct option is C. And you already heard it twice, so you were able to check for it. But that activity was only to make you understand that how the answer options are given. So now you can match it with the transcript too. Now this is the transcript, that thing which she actually said in the audio. So the keywords that you picked: first, led, develop, interest. Now, out of this, all the discussion that they had, you see, here she talked about, she said, what's so interesting to me is that up to a week after symptoms appear, infected person can actually retransmit the infection, forming a seemingly endless cycle. And then she says, that was the point that grabbed me in and pulled me in. So grabbed me in and pulled me in. So this is how she developed her interest in yellow fever. Now, some of you picked B. Some of you picked A. Now, about B, if we talk about B, the keywords are not matching, and that's not what she's saying. She's not saying that development, how her interest developed in the disease was this thing here. Yeah. Interesting thing that up to a week after symptoms appear, infected person can actually retransmit the infection. The way which it spreads, this is what she found was interesting. And this was the point that grabbed me, her, in and pulled her in. So this developed her interest in this particular disease. Why not family connection? Because she says, my son who was 22 then contracted the disease just after my research had begun. So her research already started, and after that her son contracted the disease. But the question is asking why initially she chose this disease to start her research. The answer is C, the way in which it spreads. Family connection, yes, there was a family connection with the disease, but that did not develop her interest. By the time her son contracted the virus, she already decided to research and she was doing it. Its preventable nature. She did use the word prevent, but she never said its preventable nature. So the idea itself in A is not matching. So if I have pencil in my hand, as soon as she starts talking about this was the point that grabbed me in and pulled me in, I would mark a little tick on the right side of my option C. And when she said that when my research had begun, my son contracted the virus, I would mark a little cross on point option number B. I could not hear, so I'm just going to mark a little question mark. And by the time this has ended and I know they're moving on to the next question, I can quickly mark the right option and move on with the audio. And this is what your technique should be. Look for the ideas, do not look for the words because you might not find them. Now, very good. Thank you so much for all the responses and thank you for participating. Now, coming to the next activity, you have to pick some keywords in this question stem. Now, you see, if you compare it to the previous question, this is a little lengthy one. And how do we deal with the lengthy questions? Because we may get some lengthy questions also in part C listening. So what should we do about it? Again, the technique will be similar. I am going to pick keywords and then my focus has to be on the main thing that I am finding. So the question says, Dr. Tisnedo feels that people are failing to get vaccinated against yellow fever because of. It's a question stem. The previous one was a complete question, right? If you compare, it was a complete question. What first led her to Dr. Tisnedo to develop interest? A proper WH question. But this one is not a complete question. Instead, it's a question stem and it gives me some keywords for me to focus. So, feels that people are failing to get vaccinated. Yes, fail to get vaccinated because of. So, am I looking for a reason? Yes, I am looking for a reason. Reason for what? Reason for people failing to get the vaccination against yellow fever. Reason for people avoiding the vaccination. Reason for people not getting the vaccination. Now, you can look here. It's a similar question, but in another way. Only the difference is only with the language. The idea is still similar. The question says here, if the vaccine for yellow fever is available, why are people avoiding it? So I want you to compare. Yeah, compare. On your sheet, A question is written, but in the audio, B question is being used. But is the idea similar? Yes. Is the focus going to be same? Yes. It says, why are people avoiding it? So it is the vaccine here. And why are people avoiding the vaccine? Dr. Tisnedo feels that means her opinion. Why does she think people avoid vaccine? So why are people avoiding it? Why are people avoiding the vaccine? And that was the thing that I was looking for. So A was lengthy, but the focus is same. B is shorter. Again, the idea, the thing that I'm looking for is similar. So think about it. And I'm not asking you to type your answers in the comment section. You can straight away find the correct answer for me and then when I play the audio for you. But I just want you to have a look here and ensure that you're able to understand what I'm trying to explain. Yes, yes, the ideas are absolutely same. And this is why even if the question stem is lengthy, I should not be confused. I should not be distracted. If my focus is on the right thing, I will find the right option. But if looking at the length of the question, I get distracted, like I get distracted with feelings, people, vaccination, yellow fever. So I might not be able to focus on the right thing that I was looking for, and I might miss my correct answer option because all answer options are plausible. It seems like, yes, this could also be true, this could also be true, but then actually only one of them is correct. So I need to focus clearly. If my question stem is lengthy, I need to focus clearly. What am I looking for? I'm looking for why are people avoiding the vaccination? Now, let's move on to the question. So again, a recap, underline keywords, even if it's lengthy, do not miss this thing. Do not miss this step of underlining the keywords. And while listening, make symbols on the right side, question mark, tick, cross, like that, just to, be confident that yes, I heard it, no, I did not hear it, or probably yes, but I'm not sure. So then later on, you can pick the right answer. And there is no need to write any long phrases or complete words. So please do not indulge into that habit of pausing the audio and then doing it, because in the exam, it will be played only once and that's it. Let's look at the answer options now. So the same question which I showed you, the idea, you're aware, the keywords you have marked for me. I want you to now read this question, and for that, I'm going to give you 15 seconds, and then I will play the audio for you. So your time starts now. Please read it. Time up. Time up. I hope that you all have read the question. So please be ready with a pencil if you have in hand. If not, it's okay. You can just listen and pick the right answer. Again, remember, focus on the ideas. Do not look for the exact words. So why are people failing to get vaccinated? Is there a lack of fact-based guidance from specialists? The existence of conflicting accounts on websites? Well-founded concerns about the extent of adverse reactions? Which one out of these three is making people avoid vaccination against yellow fever? Let's listen.
If the vaccine for yellow fever is available, why are people avoiding it?
It's highly recommended to all travelers who plan to visit particular regions, and the large majority follow this advice. However, individual beliefs and personal choice greatly impact this, which include concerns over serious side effects, which I should point out are rare. In this day and age, information on vaccination is now readily available to all through the internet and social media, which sadly is where a lot of people are gathering their so-called facts, which then lead to their decision-making. With all good information, there's also misinformation, and this is the dangerous part because that misinformation is often included in the formation of people's beliefs. Instead of communicating with medical professionals, which is vital, the factual data is sometimes overlooked, and that's when people run the risk of potential infection.
It's time to write in the comment section which answer option you have picked. Now, you heard it once. I'll play it for you again, but before that, I want to look at the answer options that you've picked. So please do write. I'll wait, and then I'll replay. Okay. Okay, you said B. Okay, you said A. All right, B, A, B again. Okay, so we have B and A mostly. Anybody for C? Anyone who picked C? Okay, no. So far, no one has picked C. Most of you have picked B or A. But we need to understand only one out of these two is going to be correct. The other one is going to be wrong. So we'll see which one is correct and which one is wrong. Okay, we have one C as well. We have one C now. Okay, now C. Again, C. All right, C and B. Yeah, I will replay. Yes, I will replay. Don't worry, I will replay. But before that, I want you to again bring your focus back to the same thing. What were we looking for? We were looking for why are people failing to get vaccinated? And as I showed you the question in the audio, the question that he's using is this one. If the vaccine for yellow fever is available, why are people avoiding it? And we mutually discussed, we decided that yes, the idea is same. So there's nothing for me to get confused about. I am looking for the reason why people are avoiding vaccination, and the same is being discussed. Let me see. It says, now focus. Okay, why are people failing to get vaccinated against yellow fever? The reason behind it. I'll just show you the transcript here. And I want you to listen to it side by side.
If the vaccine for yellow fever is available, why are people avoiding it?
It's highly recommended to all travelers who plan to visit particular regions, and the large majority follow this advice. However, individual beliefs and personal choice greatly impact this, which include concerns over serious side effects, which I should point out are rare. In this day and age, information on vaccination is now readily available to all through the internet and social media, which sadly is where a lot of people are gathering their so-called facts, which then lead to their decision-making. With all good information, there's also misinformation. And this is the dangerous part because that misinformation is often included in the formation of people's beliefs. Instead of communicating with medical professionals, which is vital, the factual data is sometimes overlooked, and that's when people run the risk of potential infection.
So would you still like to stick to the option that you chose, or would you like to change it? As many of you are saying C. Some of you said B, some of you said A, and many of you said C as well. Now, match. Again, look for the idea. It says, we were looking for why are people failing to get vaccinated? Now look at this. Can you find something where she is giving the reason? Which sentence or phrase tells you that people are still failing to get vaccinated? Like vaccination is available and still people are not getting it. She says, large majority follow this advice, but I'm not looking for the people who are following it. I'm looking for the ones who are not following the advice of getting vaccination. And then I'm looking for the reason why they are not getting the vaccination. So it says, however, individual beliefs and personal choice greatly impact this. So this, however, here is changing her opinion. So she says many people are getting the vaccination. However, contradicting opinion, individual beliefs and personal choice greatly impact this, which include concerns over serious side effects, which I should point are rare. So what does the option say? Well-founded concerns. She did use concerns and serious side effects, but is the answer option same? Are these concerns and side effects well-founded? Is there any evidence behind the concerns or the adverse reactions? Do you think that she said there is an evidence, there are some facts gathered which show that yes, there are adverse reactions of vaccination for yellow fever? Did she say that? Are these concerns and adverse reactions well-founded? No, she never said. She said, which I should point out are rare. So these adverse reactions and side effects are rare, not well-founded. These are not commonly found. These are not evident. There is no solid proof. So these are rare, she said. It's just a belief, but these are not well-founded. So if your answer option was concern and adverse reaction, probably you could have picked it, but well-founded, this is making the answer option wrong. So you should mark a little cross when you hear this. So you hear concerns and side effects, so you can come close to the option, but then as soon as she says which I should point out are rare, so you now get to know that these concerns and side effects or adverse reactions are not well-founded. So you cannot pick this answer option. You have to move on with her. Now, next, what does she say? She says, in this day and age, information on vaccination is now readily available to all through the internet and social media, which sadly is where a lot of people are gathering their so-called facts. So people are gathering their facts from social media. These facts are leading to their decision making. Which decision? For not getting the vaccination. They're deciding against vaccination. And why are they deciding against vaccination? Because of their beliefs, which they're getting through social media. Then she says, with all good information, there is also misinformation. And this is the dangerous part, because misinformation is often included in the formation of people's beliefs. So now when you think about A and B, which one is more suitable? Did she say lack of fact-based guidance from specialists is causing misinformation? No. She says that with good information, there is bad information. And this bad information, the misinformation is dangerous because this is forming people's opinion. Instead of communicating with medical professionals, which is important, vital, the factual data is overlooked. People ignore the facts, and then there is a potential infection risk. So she's not saying lack of fact-based guidance. She's saying good information is there. Fact-based guidance is there. But with that fact-based guidance, what else is there? Misinformation is there. And this misinformation is causing people to make this decision of not getting the vaccination. So what should be your answer? It should be B, the existence of conflicting accounts on websites. This misinformation with good information, conflicting information. This is causing people to change their opinion. A, lack of fact-based guidance. She's not saying there is lack of fact-based guidance. She's saying there is good information available, but what are people doing? People are doing this. Sometimes overlooking. Overlooking means ignoring. So it is available, but still people are ignoring it. And this is why they don't get the vaccination. So listen to it one more time and then we'll move on.
If the vaccine for yellow fever is available, why are people avoiding it?
It's highly recommended to all travelers who plan to visit particular regions, and the large majority follow this advice. However, individual beliefs and personal choice greatly impact this, which include concerns over serious side effects, which I should point out are rare. In this day and age, information on vaccination is now readily available to all through the internet and social media, which sadly is where a lot of people are gathering their so-called facts, which then lead to their decision-making. With all good information, there's also misinformation, and this is the dangerous part because that misinformation is often included in the formation of people's beliefs. Instead of communicating with medical professionals, which is vital, the factual data is sometimes overlooked, and that's when people run the risk of potential infection.
So focusing on the question, why are people not getting vaccinated? Why are they deciding against vaccination? Because of misinformation. So existence of conflicting misinformation on websites is causing them make this decision of not getting the vaccination. There is no lack of fact-based guidance. There is factual guidance, but people are overlooking it. They are ignoring it, she said. She did not say there's lack of it. Yes, for those, all of those who chose B, wonderful, very good, amazing. Those who chose A or C, do not lose heart. We have more questions coming. Let's move on to the next one. Now, this time again, this is a little activity. So the first activity that we did, it helped you look for the keywords and follow the ideas. The second activity that we did helped you focus on the important key information in the question when the question stem is lengthy. Now, this third activity will help you follow the conversation. It will help you understand the language. Again, you're not getting any true false kind of questions in the test. The activity is only made to help you enhance your listening skills for matching with the right answer option so that you can pick it correctly and in one go. So before I play it, there are some statements given, actually only 4. I want you to read these statements, and when I play the audio, you have to tell me whether these statements are true or false, or which ones out of these are true or which ones are false. So I'll just give you 1 minute to read these 4 statements, and then you can quickly tell me whether these statements are correct, true, or false, wrong. Correct, true would be matching to what the speaker is saying. Wrong or false would be opposite to what she's saying in the audio. So you can just, again, pick a pencil if it is available while listening, write T for true or F for false, or you can mark your answers in the comment section too, and 1 is true or 2 is true, like that, or just write TF or FT, whatever you choose. That would also do. So whatever is convenient for you. So please keep reading it, and then when I play, tell me if it's true or false. I'll wait so everyone can read it. I hope you all have read it. So I am now playing it. Write T for true statement and F for false statement while listening and matching the idea. Here we go.
Now, I know your son fortunately survived. Can you tell us more about his case?
Unfortunately, he was in the group that overlooked the available data and my advice. But he was only a young adult at the time, so I can hardly blame him for this. He was lucky. Yellow fever is characterized by 2 stages. In the first, symptoms such as headache, fever, and muscle pain are common. About 15 to 25% then progress to the second stage, known as the toxic stage. And if he'd progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son. Of those who do enter the second stage, half die within 10 to 14 days after onset of the illness.
I'll wait for you to type your answers in the comment section, whether these are true or false, and side by side, I'm going to replay so you can match your answers with me. First one says, Dr. Tisnado blames her son for ignoring her advice. Did she blame her son for ignoring her advice? Let's check.
Now, I know your son fortunately survived. Can you tell us more about his case?
Unfortunately, he was in the group that overlooked the available data and my advice. But he was only a young adult at the time, so I can hardly blame him for this. He was lucky.
What does she say? I can hardly blame him for this. Hardly. So if she's saying I can hardly blame him for this, it's going to be false. It's not true. She blames her son for ignoring her advice? No. She says, I can hardly blame him for ignoring my advice because he was too young. Yes, many of you have picked it correct. It's false. She's not blaming him for ignoring her advice. She says hardly. Here, you can listen again.
Data and my advice. But he was only a young adult at the time, so I can hardly blame him for this. He was lucky. Yellow fever is characterized by 2 stages. In the first, symptoms such as headache, fever, and muscle pain are common. About 15 to 25% then progress to the second stage, known as the
What did she say? About how much? Yeah.
5% then progress to the second stage. Fever and muscle pain are common. About 15 to 25% then progress to the second stage, known as the
About 50 to 25. So about 1/4 only? No. It could be half of them too, who could suffer from yellow fever, and it can progress to the second stage. So 1/4 to half. So second one is going to be incorrect. The next one says her son was in second stage called the toxic stage. Was he in the toxic stage?
toxic stage. And if he'd progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son.
If he progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son. Oh yes, I'm sorry, 15 to 20. So 20 is 1/5, not 1/4. So 1/4 would mean 25. So Dr. Tisnedo's son was in second stage called the toxic stage. No, he was not. It's false. He did not reach the toxic stage.
Progress to the second stage, known as the fever and muscle pain are common. About 15 to 25% then progress to the second stage, known as the toxic stage. And if he'd progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son.
So that's
Of
correct.
those who
Second one is correct. 15 to 20. So yes. Then did he progress to the toxic stage?
do enter the second stage, known as the toxic stage. And if he'd progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son.
No, he did not. So he did not progress to the toxic stage. So this one is false. So first one is false. Second one is true. She did say 1/4, 15 to 25. So yes, about 1/4 it is. 20 is around 1/5 or something. 50 is half. Yeah, I misheard it. My bad. Yeah, second is true. The third one is false again. Her son was in second stage. No, she says if he progressed, she may no longer have a son. So she could save him before moving to the toxic stage. Now, last one says 50% of the people who enter the second stage die within 2 weeks. Yes or no? Let's see.
Of those who do enter the second stage, of those who I may no longer have a son. Of those who do enter the second stage, half die within 10 to 14 days after onset of the illness.
Half die in 10 to 14 days. So 10 to 14 days is 2 weeks, and half 50%. So yes, fourth one would be true. This is what she's saying. So this is how you're matching your ideas. You're listening, and then side by side, you're matching whether this is what she's saying or she's saying something else. And if you're able to do this, and if you can correctly match the ideas, then you can be confident that you're following the conversation correctly, and this is how you can pick the right answer. Now let's look at the question, the actual question. So as we discussed so far, ideas we are going to match ideas, not words, and little things can make a huge difference. So don't lose focus. Let's now look at the actual question. Here is the actual question. I am going to give you 15 seconds to read it with the answer options. I will wait for you to read it with the answer options, and then we'll move on. Please read it. And the time is up for reading now. Again, the keywords. What does she tell us about her son? So whatever she is telling you about her son, whatever answer option it's matching with, that will be the correct answer. She said that her son was close to entering the second stage. She said that her son's age and inexperience may explain the decisions he made, or she said that he was quick to take advantage of effective treatment options. Please listen to the audio and pick the right answer. Not now, not now, listen to it.
Now, I know your son fortunately survived. Can you tell us more about his case?
Unfortunately, he was in the group that overlooked the available data and my advice. But he was only a young adult at the time, so I can hardly blame him for this. He was lucky. Yellow fever is characterized by 2 stages. In the first, symptoms such as headache, fever, and muscle pain are common. About 15 to 25% then progress to the second stage, known as the toxic stage. And if he'd progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son. Of those who do enter the second stage, half die within 10 to 14 days after onset of the illness.
Now type your answers, please. A, B, or C. Which one did she say? A, B, or C. Now I'll wait for your answers. I'll wait for the right your answers, your chosen options. Ellen says B. Okay, one more B. I'll wait for a few more seconds. Another B from Bruna. Christopher says A. Leo says B. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I want you to look at it and then decide A or B. A says that he was close to entering the second stage of the illness. Did she anywhere? Now, look at the transcript and find it for me. What is the exact sentence or statement which says that her son was close to entering the second stage of the disease? Did she say that? She says about 15 to 25% then progressed to the second stage, known as the toxic stage. And if he had progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son. Does she say that he was close to entering the second stage? Does she say? Does she say that her son was close to entering the second stage of the illness? Can you find that? Her son was close? No, she never said that. Yes, you're right. She never said that her son was close to entering the second stage. She only says that if he would have entered the second stage, she might no longer have a son. But if we assume that she says that he was close to entering the second stage, so we cannot just mark our answers on the basis of assumptions. It is going to be an assumption. If you think that just because she said that if he entered to the next level, I may no longer have a son, would mean that he was close. It's an assumption only. She never said it. So why B? Why B is the correct answer option? Yes, most of you are absolutely correct. Excellent. B is the correct answer option. His age and inexperience may explain the decisions he made. Now look at it. Look at the beginning of the transcript. She says, here she says,
now, I know your son fortunately survived. Can you tell us more about his case?
Unfortunately, he was in the group that overlooked the available data and my advice. But he was only a young adult at the time, so I can hardly blame him for this.
Yes, you're right. She said that he was just a young adult, and I can hardly blame him for his for this decision that he made for not getting a vaccination. So his age, young adult, was the reason, his age and inexperience were the reason that he ignored my advice. And this may explain that why he chose not to go with the vaccination, but she's not blaming him for that. A, he was close to entering the second stage. No, she never said that. She just said that if he would have entered, I may no longer have a son. So no assumption can be made here. C says he was quick to take advantage of the effective treatment options. This was not said anywhere.
He was lucky. Yellow fever is characterized by 2 stages. In the first, symptoms such as headache, fever, and muscle pain are common. About 15 to 25% then progress to the second stage, known as the toxic stage. And if he'd progressed to that level, I may no longer have a son. Of those who do enter the second stage, half die within 10 to 14 days.
So this is why we did the previous activity, because I wanted you to listen for the minor details. Those minor things make a major difference to the answer. If you look at the answer options, all of them may seem correct because there are sometimes words and some phrases given which are similar, but at no point can I work on just assumptions. So just because she said if he progressed, I cannot say that he was close. So A seems like a correct answer, but it's distracting you. So not just second stage, don't just look at the words here. Main ideas, she said in the beginning, his age and inexperience explained why he chose not to take the vaccination. All right. I hope that you're able to gather some of the things required for you to be able to find the right answer options during the test. Now, I want you to look at this thing here. There are some words written, 10 in number. Those are from one answer statement. Those words are said by your speaker for the next question. But probably not as it is. They could be changed. There could be some synonyms or similar words used. I don't want you to write synonyms or similar words for all of these. I will just give you 2 minutes to think of any synonyms or similar words for these things given here. So if what I mean is, I'll simplify. So if I say educate, and your speaker is using some similar word or phrase in the audio, instead of educate, what could they say? What would they say? If not educate, what else could they say? They could say awareness, they could say knowledge, things like those. So I just give you 2 minutes to think about it. If you want to type your answer options, you can. If you don't want to, you can just think about it, because it's going to again help us match the ideas and follow the conversation that's going on. So only 2 minutes, I'll wait. Quickly, whatever comes to your mind for the words which I have mentioned here. Yes, I'm getting teach. Yes, she could say teach. Yeah. You can go on, you can think about it. Anything that comes to your mind for these words, any similar words, synonyms that your speaker, that your interviewee might use in the audio instead of these words as it is, because we discussed the language is rephrased, things are not going to be as it is, but the words can be similar in ideas. So think about it. Take your time, take 2 minutes, think about it. And then I will play the audio for you. Educate, teach, inform, travelers, tourists, illustrate, show. Very nice. Go on. Keep thinking, keep thinking. If you like to write, you can write that too. Otherwise, just keep thinking. Just think in your head, think in your head. You can share with each other in the comment section, or just keep thinking about it. That's all. We have 30 more seconds to go. 30 more seconds. Think about as many words as you can. Synonyms, similar words, phrases. What can you expect? Okay, wonderful. Very nice responses. Teach, firm, journey, good one. Imports, value, wonderful. Assure. All right, few more seconds. Few more seconds, think about it. Yes, verify, confirm. Yes, you're right, could be. All right, time up. Now, why are we doing it? I told you in the beginning, we are not looking for any word meanings, but we are still thinking about the similar words or phrases. Why? We are looking for them because the dictionary meanings are not going to be similar. So when we say synonyms or similar words or rephrase language, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? The dictionary meanings come to your mind, right? Like for example, you said for travelers, you said visitors. For confirm, you said verify. For illustrate, you said example. But in listening, you cannot completely rely on the dictionary meanings. You cannot. So yes, you can keep those things in mind. You can keep it, but do not just completely rely on the dictionary meanings, because what matters is the idea, how things are being said. What I mean, I'll simplify. So for example, your speaker may say that, it took me only 10 years to make this tool which can diagnose and treat a specific type of cancer. They may say it took me only 10 years. Now, how they said is only 10 years, they were expecting it to take long. But they said only 10 years, so their expectation was probably more than 10 years, but they could do it in 10 years. And in the answer option, it may say less than expected time. So the word only is making all the difference to the answer here. So what I mean to say is, of course, you can keep these synonyms and similar words in mind while listening to it, but do not just completely depend on or rely on the dictionary meanings of the words. How a certain idea is being conveyed, how a certain opinion is being discussed, that is what makes all the difference. Okay, now whatever your thoughts were, thank you for all those who have written them here. For those who thought about it for a minute, I will play the audio for you. You can just match your thoughts. How many of these words could you actually listen in the audio? Did those match to the words or phrases that you thought of, or were they different? And how many are actually similar as per the dictionary, or how many are different? Just listen. That's it.
Brazil has often been labeled a high risk for contracting yellow fever. Can you give any statistics?
In 2017, there were 10 travel-related cases of yellow fever from tourists who'd visited Brazil. I should say that none of the 10 reported cases had received a vaccination, and I firmly believe this outweighs all other causes for contracting the disease. Of the 10, half were from Argentina and Chile. The other 5 were from parts of Europe. This suggests to me that going unvaccinated has little to do with mass education, government spending, or the like, although I'm still a big supporter of such methods. I believe it comes back to a combination of individual choice, fear campaigns, and misinformation. But the bottom line is, again, vaccination. And to a lesser extent, a belief in the "it won't ever happen to me" scenario.
Right.
Yes. Some of the words you could hear as it is. Some of them you couldn't. You just missed them because the dictionary meanings were not similar. But how she was discussing, how she was conveying the idea was what brings you closer to that specific word. So again, do not rely on dictionary meanings. It won't help. It won't help you. Rephrase language is close in terms of that particular idea only. So look for the ideas. Do not run behind finding a specific word or a phrase. Now, for this, what can you do? You can maintain a notebook. You can write some difficult words, their meanings or phrases. So next time when you hear, you may be aware that last time in the test that I did, how was it used? You don't have to find any word meanings. So this is why I am saying, do not rely on the dictionary meanings only. Look for the ideas. Do not just look for the words or the phrases. Now, moving on, this is the question that you have. Again, it's going to be a little lengthy. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to read it. I'm giving you 5 extra because I want you to mark the right answer. You're doing great. You're doing great throughout. Thank you for all the patience that you're showing and for responding and participating. Please read this question. Your time starts now. Done? Ready to find the answer? Here you go. She believes that recent cases of yellow fever in Brazil among tourists. So again, lengthy question stem. Mark the keywords. Focus on the idea that you're finding. Listen, match.
Brazil has often been labeled a high risk for contracting yellow fever. Can you give any statistics?
In 2017, there were 10 travel-related cases of yellow fever from tourists who'd visited Brazil. I should say that none of the 10 reported cases had received a vaccination, and I firmly believe this outweighs all other causes for contracting the disease. Of the 10, half were from Argentina and Chile. The other 5 were from parts of Europe. This suggests to me that going unvaccinated has little to do with mass education, government spending, or the like, although I'm still a big supporter of such methods. I believe it comes back to a combination of individual choice, fear campaigns, and misinformation. But the bottom line is, again, vaccination. And to a lesser extent, a belief in the "it won't ever happen to me" scenario.
Right.
Now you can type for me in the comment section that which option did you choose? Which one is the correct one? As per you. Of course, I'll tell you the right answer. I'll show you the transcript. I will replay the audio. But first, I want to get it from you. Which one did you choose? Okay, we get B here. We got one A also. More. Yes, thank you. I need more responses. Show me that you're not sleeping and you're actively listening to me. Yes, thank you. Okay, it does not matter whether you have picked the right or the wrong answer. It's all about participation. Even if you have picked the wrong one, don't worry. I'll explain it to you and you can learn how to look for the right one. A, C, B. Okay, C, B. Fine. Good. Thank you. Okay, so I'm getting A, I'm getting B, I'm getting C too. So A says confirm her beliefs about the effectiveness. Now look at the question. Believes that recent cases in Brazil among tourists. Recent cases in Brazil among tourists. Confirm her beliefs about the effectiveness of vaccination. So if it's very lengthy and you can't focus, you can even read it with the answer options. If you're able to pick the keywords, that is also fine. So what does she believe about the recent cases of yellow fever in Brazil? Or what is her opinion about recent cases in Brazil among tourists? It confirms her beliefs about the effectiveness of vaccination. Illustrate the need to educate travelers in how to obtain vaccination, or underline the value of further investment in the promotion of vaccination. Now, all 3 answer options have vaccinations written for me. So I should look for something which is making them different from each other. A says beliefs about the effectiveness. B says education of travelers on the vaccine. A, effectiveness of vaccine. B, education of travelers on vaccine, underlining the value of further investment in the promotion of vaccine. So they're going to be something or the other in the answer options, which can help you differentiate amongst them if those are lengthy. So look for that and now match. I will show you the transcript side by side and you can listen. Just a second. Yeah.
Brazil has often been labeled a high risk for contracting yellow fever. Can you give any statistics?
In 2017, there were 10 travel-related cases of yellow fever from tourists who'd visited Brazil. I should say that none of the 10 reported cases had received a vaccination, and I firmly believe this outweighs all other causes for contracting the disease.
Did you listen to this? I believe. This outweighs all other causes for contracting the disease. What outweighs all other causes? Not receiving a vaccination. This not receiving vaccination outweighs all other causes for contracting the disease. So her beliefs about the effectiveness of vaccination. In the very beginning, she gave you the answer. So you can mark a little tick on the right side and keep listening for B and C as well. Sometimes you can even eliminate the wrong answers and find the right one. So listen again.
Brazil has often been labeled a high risk for contracting yellow fever. Can you give any statistics?
In 2017, there were 10 travel-related cases of yellow fever from tourists who'd visited Brazil. I should say that none of the 10 reported cases had received a vaccination, and I firmly believe this outweighs all other causes for contracting the disease. Of the 10, half were from Argentina and Chile. The other 5 were from parts of Europe. This suggests to me that going unvaccinated has little to do with mass education.
See, going on vaccination has little to do with mass education. So can we pick B? We cannot. It says illustrate the need to educate travelers, but she's saying completely something opposite to it. She says it has little to do with mass education. Mass education, educating travelers, government spending or the like, although I'm a big supporter, she says, of such methods. So she supports them, but these are not the reason for recent cases of yellow fever in Brazil. A outweighs all other causes.
Government spending or the like, although I'm still a big supporter of such methods. I believe it comes back to a combination of individual choice, fear campaigns, and misinformation. But the bottom line is, again, vaccination.
She came to it again. The bottom line is vaccination. So again, the belief on effectiveness of vaccination. So twice she has highlighted it for you. So A is your right answer. Those who picked A, excellent. Those who could not, I hope now you understand how important it is to look for the main thing that your answer option is saying. Because she did not say about just education. She did use mass education, but she said it has little to do with the cases. Underlines the value of further investment. She says, I support it. But the bottom line is getting vaccination.
And to a lesser extent, a belief in the it won't ever happen to me scenario.
Right.
So this is why people are not getting vaccination. And the recent cases among tourists were why? Because people did not get vaccinated. So this outweighs all other causes, all other reasons, she said. So A is your right answer. Now, throughout, you've been very patient and you're very nicely responding to me for all the questions. Thank you for all the support that you're showing through your participation. We are left with only last 2 questions and we'll complete that. So our whole extract will be over. But for this one, I will not be playing it one by one, because how does it come in the exam? It will be one after the other and then the next one and then the next one. So far, we were doing it individually, 1 and then 2. The reason was I was helping you with the activities, the skills, Now this one, I will play one after the other. And in total, I am now going to give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds for reading both questions with their answer options. And then I will play the audio for both of them. I want you to pick two answers, one for 35, the other for 36. And then you can type it in the comment section. So your time for reading these two questions, 30 seconds, starts now. Time up. Let's listen.
Right. For those who don't have the vaccination, are there other steps to take to prevent contracting yellow fever?
Of course. And doing so saves countless lives. There are a number of prevention methods that all people should take, even those who've had the vaccination. Avoiding mosquitoes is the most obvious of these. Those that transmit yellow fever are actually most active during the day. Wearing repellent containing DEET and light-colored long-sleeved clothes is a must. Leave the perfumes and colognes at home, as they can attract mosquitoes, as well as using screens to prevent them from entering your accommodation. Even at night, a mosquito net is recommended. These are all good safeguards, and I'm certainly not entirely dismissing them, but to me, they are still a gamble. Vaccination is hands down the superior method, which, by the way, lasts for a lifetime.
So, what needs to be done to get the correct information across?
Education always has and always will be our most valuable tool. But people find the topic and language of vaccination confusing. Of course, more needs to be done to get the message across to all people, and a positive way to achieve this is to make specialist knowledge freely available worldwide in a dedicated website with factual, evidence-based information in a language everyone can understand.
Understand, she said. Everyone can understand. So please write down what you picked for 35 and what you picked for 36. And then one by one, we can quickly have a detailed discussion, and that's all. I will wait for your responses. Okay, B for which one? 35 or 36? B for both? Okay, 35C and 36A. All right, 35C and 36A. C and B, C and A, C and A. Wonderful. Excellent. Great. So now, coming back to the thing that we discussed in the beginning quickly, after one question has ended and the other one starts, you can look at the keywords. So it's easy to follow when one question has ended and the other one has started. So what helped you? The keywords that you picked in the question helped you. What else helped you? The interviewer's question and understanding how it was similar to what's written on your sheet, that helped you. So this is how you may understand that they have moved on, and so should you with them, rather than waiting on the same answer. Now, listen again and check the option that you chose for this. You can see. Other steps aimed at preventing yellow fever. Yes, most of you are correct. Wonderful. The answer is C. A wise precaution for anyone traveling to the affected areas. And where did she say that? Here. So we're looking for other steps other than vaccine, right? Other steps for preventing yellow fever.
Right. For those who don't have the vaccination, are there other steps to take to prevent contracting yellow fever?
Of course. And doing so saves countless lives. There are a number of prevention methods that all people should take, even those who've had the vaccination. Avoiding mosquitoes is the most obvious of these. Those that transmit yellow fever are actually most active during the day. Wearing repellent containing DEET and light-colored long-sleeved clothes is a must. Leave the perfumes and colognes at home, as they can attract mosquitoes, as well as using screens to prevent them from entering your accommodation. Even at night, a mosquito net is recommended. These are all good safeguards, and I'm certainly not entirely dismissing them, but to me, they are still a gamble.
Right.
So you see, other steps aimed at preventing yellow fever are essential for those who are unsure of their vaccination status. She said there are a number of prevention methods that all people should take, even those who have had the vaccination. But A says essential for those who are unsure or unnecessary for people who have been fully vaccinated. She says even for those who have had the vaccination. So B is completely out. And then here she says wearing repellents containing DEET, light-colored long-sleeved clothes, leave perfumes and colognes at home. They can attract mosquitoes. Use screens, and then at the end says hands down vaccine is the superior method which lasts for lifetime. So other steps are wise precaution for anyone traveling to affected areas. These are other methods, but vaccine is the most superior method. So the answer is C for 35. And the last one, let's quickly check this one too. The question says that to be effective, advice about yellow fever vaccine needs to. So if you just pick the correct keywords and focus, they say advice about yellow fever vaccination needs to be what? To make it effective. To make the advice effective, what should be done? It should be expressed, the advice should be expressed in very accessible way. It should clearly come from highly respected authorities, or it should be posted on a wide range of social media platforms. Let's see.
So what needs to be done to get the correct information across?
Education always has and always will be our most valuable tool. But people find the topic and language of vaccination confusing. Of course, more needs to be done to get the message across to all people, and a positive way to achieve this is to make specialist knowledge freely available worldwide in a dedicated website with factual, evidence-based information in a language everyone can understand.
So, the answer is A. It should be clearly expressed. It should be expressed in a very accessible way. And where does she say that? She says worldwide, specialist knowledge freely available. So specialist knowledge is the advice here, freely available worldwide in a dedicated website with factual evidence-based information. See, she did not say wide range of social media platforms, because she's talking about one particular dedicated website for it. So A is your answer. Those who picked A, wonderful. Those who did not, I hope now you've understood why it was A. So now you can just count how much did you score out of the 6 questions you did, how many were correct. You should be aiming for somewhere around 4 to 5 correct answer in each extract. 1 to 2 are going wrong, it's okay. But if 3 or less than 3 were correct, then we need to work on the skills. Yeah. So just to recap, follow the talk, match ideas, don't run behind words, do not look for same words because dictionary meanings are different. Audio is long, so don't lose your concentration. Notice signposts, notice how they are changing from one thing to the other, how they are moving on. And if you miss something, don't panic. Come back to it later at the end in the last 2 minutes and take an educated guess. No negative markings are there, so you can just take an educated guess at the end rather than leaving it a blank. Don't worry, Sheba, if you get 2 on 6, you can just keep practicing and you'll surely increase your score. Right? And good job, all of you. Thank you so much for your participation. You have wonderfully completed one full extract for me. In the beginning, there were some technical problems that we faced and you had to wait for so long, but I hope it was worth it. And to join us, you can again contact us through Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp number, or our phone number for any kind of online or offline mode of course that you want to opt for. That's it for today. Again, once again, thank you so much for joining me, for staying with me throughout, for participating so actively in the session. I hope to see you very soon again with another topic. And for today, that's all. Thank you so much, all of you. Good evening and bye for today. Thank you so much.